blindfolded, and then the Jake that would last would go on to actually enter in the professional boxing ring and do all that. Now, this is what's funny though. This is my point. Israel doesn't know how to go for what's naturally theirs because they want to always be a part of the crowd, and that crowd is Esau. You know, here you have Esau doing his thing, you know, whatever, but Jake wants in on it because they don't, it reminds me of before they found, before the prophet Elijah sought out King Samuel.
Dominican, to be honest.
King Saul. Before he sought out Saul, Elijah got pissed off at Israel because they wanted a king, but they didn't realize Yahawashi is already the king. So that's the same spirit Israel comes into. They don't want to obey, or they forget the Most High and want to love Esau. So they get into it. It happened with Black Wall Street. They tried to do something like Esau, and guess what happened? Esau crumbled it. They tried to do something like Esau in boxing, guess what Esau did? Esau made fun of them with it. It's the same thing. You want to follow Esau? Well, you're going to get destroyed.
Yeah, the prophecy for that is, it says that two nations, right? Whereas brother is just simply saying Jake wants to bring his nation with Esau. No, hey, the Lord already separated that they're going to be separate, all right? And they're going to be fighting. Hey, there's going to be war all the time between you and Esau. That's what the brother is saying. You people want to join in with the wicked. You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
Another point, beautiful point, Slacky, was how the brother read in time and chance happened to them all. That's interesting to think about because these people who have these talents and these fames in this kingdom, it's just a time and a chance that happened to them. It's all and someone like Usain Bolt is a fast man. His talent is a time and a chance from the Most High. But the elect, we're blessed because the Most High had put that kind of blessing on us forever because we're the first fruits.
You know something?
You know?
This is just going back to Kazak's point real quick on how it's not a sprint, it's really a marathon, right? So this is 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. But Yahweh said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For Yahweh seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but Yahweh looketh on the heart, right? So when Samuel looked at David when he was small, he was smaller than all of his brothers. His brothers, they were winning the race physically, right? They were stronger, they were men of war, they were bigger. But David, he wasn't bigger. But his mind was set on to serve the Lord. He had his heart was pure, right? So that's what he means by it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about how you endure in your faith. It's not about how you look on the outward, right? So that's what it's really about. Now it says, then Jesse called Abinadab and made him pass before Samuel, and he said, neither hath the Lord chosen this. Then Jesse made Shammah to pass by, and he said, neither hath the Lord chosen this. Again, Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel, and Samuel said unto Jesse, the Lord hath not chosen these. So these were fine specimens, man, but the Lord doesn't want that, okay? And it said, and Samuel said unto Jesse, are here all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. So he was the youngest. He wasn't the oldest, he was the youngest, and he kept to the sheep. So if you, just by default, he cared for the sheep, okay, which is symbolic of caring for the people. Because Israel is likened unto sheep and lambs and those things. And for you to maintain sheep, you have to be very delicate towards them. So, you know how this guy looked, he was delicate to his pasture or his flock. So that's who he's looking for too.
But also, brother, remember, he was setting up to fight Goliath. So when Goliath, that's why he's like, who's this? This is a sheeper, you know? You know what I mean? This little wimp, you know what I mean? So the most of this show like this big giant, and the littlest man, that wasn't even a soldier, took him out. Right? Took him out, man.
It's a little rock.
It's a little rock. Right? And take his head off.
Also, Slake, I said it, Prophet Elijah is actually Prophet Samuel. Just read it, so just for edification's sake.
And I'll read this and finish up. It says, yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep, And Samuel said unto Jesse, Send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy and withal of a beautiful countenance, and goodly to look on, or to look to. And the Lord said, Arise, anoint him, for this is he.
Yeah, so he looked like a pretty boy almost. He didn't get festered with war into the dirt or anything like that. So of course Goliath's gonna be like, yo, what are you talking about? Even I think his older brother's like, yo, go back to the sheep. What are you doing here? Go back to the sheep.
And that was it.
Real quick, moving on. This is still Philippians 8th verse because based on what we've been saying, Brother Kazak mentioned also the point. Brother just went over and covered it. And this is verse 8. It says, Philippians 2:8. It says, and being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself, becoming obedient even unto death. Right? Yes, the death of the cross, right, so to speak. So the point is, simply put, the men of the Lord, that's our example. Right there, our perfect example. We cry and zero in, and we ask for his spirit, the spirit of simply meekness, mercy, right? All the gifts of the spirit. And what shines there is meekness. Okay, shines out with all of the other gifts, because what was read earlier on that he died in weakness, right? That just meant in the world. It's not that that was just part of the plan for him to go through humility, right? That has nothing to do with him being weak, as to say the weak. It's an example to show you that, hey, he's obedient to Yahawashi. He's obedient to Yahweh, his heavenly Father, and that's the example. Right? That's the example that we cry and sigh every day for. All right? Anyway.
Well, saying the word, don't mistake my humility or my humbleness for weakness.
That's right. That's true. Yeah. That's true.
And here's the wonderful gift, okay? And we don't forget it. Verse 9. Real quick, if anybody has anything, I'll just say this. It says, wherefore also Yahweh, our power, highly exalted him and gave unto him the name which is above every name. That name is he's the king of terrors. It's Yahawashi. That's his name. Not that demon over there at Point. It's not Jesus. Right? Jesus is an earth pig. That's what it is. All these years that we've been lying to us, telling us all these different things from Serapis. Oh, it's Serapis. Oh, it's Zeus, big strong black man. They even tell us that too. Big strong black man named Zeus. But it's not Yahawashi.
I mean, further back, besides just the word Jesus, right? It's another God,
Sun worship.
Yeah.
Back to sun worship.
That's right.
The Babylonians had that, sun worship. And actually too, on that, the cross as well, the Syrians, Babylonians, and the Egyptians switched it to an ankh, but that's what they used. They worship the sun god. Based off what you were saying.
Yep. Reading on, verse 10, it says that in the name of Yahawashi, okay, every knee should bow, of things in heaven and things on earth and things under the earth is going to bow to the name of the King of Terrors, which is Yahawashi, right?
That's right. So that's all powers, man. All powers are going to submit to the highest power. You can't get around it. You can't get around it.
Can't get around it.
That's why when you try to mock the name of the Lord, saying you'll play yogurt and all of that, you're jeopardizing your whole very existence. You uttering that, man. It shouldn't even go that far as you even uttering that.
Wow.
You should I don't know, man.
That's how you know fear is wisdom.
Yeah.
Fear is wisdom. Because when you don't have it, you're an idiot. You're foolish.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like going into a fight and then running your mouth and the guy is like, say Kazakh size. Like me trying to say that to Kazakh. I can't be the guy like that because I don't match up. I would have to go through a drastic change, to build up myself to my maximum weight limit at my height to take on a guy like Kazak.
You're an Egamondo and
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. Because when it comes to that time, like you've seen it in shows, movies, and the guy just gets walloped. It's
all of a
like,
sudden you're surprised that all that happened. That's the foolishness, because people are going to be surprised when Yahawashi rained down here and said self-destruction, like it never heard the truth before. You know? But that's because throughout the time they were just scoffing at the prophets. That's why.